We're back with our special series on the housing crisis, No Way to Live, produced in collaboration with the Huffington Post all week this week. And yesterday, we discussed the roots of the meltdown. Today, we talk about the government's response, the Homeowner Affordable Mortgage Program, or HAMP. It started in 2009, HAMP setting guidelines and incentive payments for banks to modify mortgages. But homeowners have complained the program doesn't work, rightly so, as too often the homeowner pays the lower payment, is then told they don't qualify, and that they're in arrears because of the lower payment, and now their credit score has been trashed, all because they did exactly what they were told to do by the bank. Meanwhile, the bank is able to spread out the foreclosures, allowing them to continue to collect as many bonuses as possible without having to recognize the losses on the houses. Pretty clever, right? Officials said HAMP was supposed to help 3 to 4 million homeowners. It's quite clear the program has not done anything other than support the banks as they look to distribute how they foreclose by extending people in this manipulative program. And with us now are a couple who went through HAMP and then foreclosure, Bea and Terry Garwood. We're also joined by Huffington Post reporter Arthur Delaney. Bea, tell us your experience.
Hi there. My experience is I first contacted Chase in April '09. And they told me I was a perfect candidate for their new program, that they were just starting the modifications. Sent all my paperwork, was contacted in June, and said that I qualified for the program for a 60 to 90 day trial. Made all the monthly trial payments. The payments went past the 90 days. We made trial payments until March of 2010, only to get a letter on March 19th stating we did not qualify and we owed all this money in the rears.
Basically the exact scam that I just described, Arthur. This clearly allows the banks to extend over time, basically create duration, I guess is what it's called in the financial markets, where you don't have to deal with all the houses at once. You basically tell people they qualify, they go to the lower payment, and then when you want to take the house, you retract the offer and screw them over in the process, wrecking their credit score. Just how prevalent have you found this to be?
Well, what's amazing about Bea and Terry Garwood's story is that it's not all that uncommon. The federal auditors of the program have said repeatedly that this is something that can actually happen. Either you'll waste money trying to go after this trial modification that'll never happen, or in the worst case scenario, you weren't even seriously delinquent in the first place. Then, as a result of making these payments for a long period of time, you're totally delinquent and you're losing your house.
Again, Bea and Terry Garwood's story featured today prominently in Arthur's coverage on the Huffington Post in their impact section. I want to keep you guys with me. I want to bring in Senator Jeff Merkley of Oregon. Senator Merkley, I should make very clear, not only has a proposal to deal with this, but has been aggressive over the past few years in trying to prevent this from happening. And Senator, we are glad to have you here. How thoroughly do you feel that the American government understands how the banks are doing what they're doing to people like Bea and Terry Garwood?
I'm not sure the administration has a real grip on it. I was encouraging President Obama to address the wave of foreclosures and the failures in the HAMP program in his State of the Union, and to lay out a renewed effort to assist our families facing foreclosure. We didn't hear that in the State of the Union, and we haven't heard a kind of an aggressive understanding of the problems in the program, and that we can do much more, not just to fix the HAMP program by ending the dual track, by creating a single point of contact, but we can do a lot more between the moment of families in trouble and foreclosure to try to have a win-win that keeps families in their homes, keeps children in the schools, and stabilizes our communities.
Yeah. One of the more cynical interpretations of what's going on here, however, is that HAMP is working, except it's working for the banks as it was designed to do, that the banks didn't want to have to foreclose on a bunch of houses at once, that this allows them to effectively mislead people like Bea and Terry Garwood into lower payments, so that then the bank can come back 6, 9, or 12 months later, as Josh Rosner has suggested in his research, take the house and distribute, if you will, the risk, so that the banks can continue to collect their bonuses while spreading the foreclosures over multiple quarters.
Listen, the story you're describing, the Garwood's experience, is very common. I just met with a group of families out in Oregon. Many of them were talked to by their servicer, who said, hey, why don't you try this program and they hadn't yet failed to make any payments. So the program was suggested, they were told they were good candidates, and then fees started to pile up, so the servicer starts to make a lot of money off fees, but they don't make when a family is making their payments. But there isn't the full commitment to actually do the modification that would assist the family in the end. So I think we have to fully explore this, because it does seem like something's gone terribly awry.
I mean, Terry, in your experience, did you feel that you were even dealt with in a direct and honest manner?
No, I don't. I didn't at all. You know, to me, it was a scam from the beginning. Looking back at it now, it was just a real poorly ran setup right from the beginning. I mean, even the payments the modification payments you'd make, you'd think they were going to Chase Bank, and they weren't. I mean, they went into a foreclosure immediately from when we signed up for this, which they didn't clue us in on either. You know, it's a mess, and I can't believe that it's legal. It's a mess.
Yeah, Senator, briefly, what has to happen to get the American people a real investigation into the relationship between the banks, the Treasury, and these programs?
Well, we've got to pursue it in the Senate Banking Committee. We now have enough stories from enough places that I think we can have a real exploration. But it isn't just fixing HAMP. We have to do so much more. We need to give lifeline bankruptcy power to bankruptcy judges to intervene. We need to have mediation, mandatory mediation that creates a foreclosure fire break. We need to have a national short refi program that enables some families who are very high interest rates and very high mortgages to repurchase their own home.
Yep. No, listen, keep us posted. We know that you are an advocate for all of this. Arthur, sensational coverage today. Check it out on the front of the Huffington Post. Bea and Terry, thank you for sharing your story with us. And Senator Merkley, thank you for joining us.